But what do you mean healing trauma through the body? Here's exactly what I mean. Let's talk about it. I get this question all the time. How do we heal trauma through the body? I am a somatic experiencing practitioner, and somatic experiencing is a body-based trauma resolution modality. It is a form of trauma therapy. But we work with the body and the nervous system, and more specifically, the difference between talk therapy or cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and somatic therapy is that cognitive therapy focuses on cognitive memory, verbal memory, what we call explicit memory, memory that you can explain and put into words. Okay, this is autobiographical memory, narrative memory. I remember who, what, where, when. In somatic therapy, we focus on body memory, what we call not explicit, but implicit memory. So this is muscle memory. This is autonomic nervous system memory, emotional memory, sensory memory. This is not memory that you put into words. This is procedural, what we call procedural memory, which is the habits, right? The subconscious habits and instincts and impulses of the body, of the subconscious brain, of the muscles, of the viscera, okay? The way that your body clenches or tightens when someone raises their voice, which is reminding your body of traumatic memory in the past when there was abuse and screaming in the home that you grew up in. The way that you cower and want to make yourself small, and we can see that in the way that your shoulder diaphragm starts to collapse in and your spine starts to collapse as well, and your gaze goes downward, and we notice that your skin goes flush, right? And you start to feel cold and constricted and like you're bracing and you can't breathe. You're going into a freeze state. And this is reminding your body of the memory, the traumatic implicit memory of something horrible that happened in the past. And when your body went into a freeze state. And so what we do in somatic therapy and somatic experiencing in particular is we work with the body memory, helping the body to learn and to catch up to what the mind already knows, which is likely that the trauma is over. Your mind knows that, right? We can talk about that till we're blue in the face in therapy, but your body might not have caught up yet. And so we help the body to not realize, but to feel through that. And we do that in a couple of different ways. Number one, by showing the body experiences of safety, allowing the nervous system to disarm, to move on from that chronic survival mode. So we built in more safety, what we call resource, what we call glimmers. And then we also help the body and the nervous system to have new experiences in the here and now that it couldn't have back then. And that might be touching into a moment of anger. That might be touching into a moment of setting a boundary, right? So if in the past you were taken advantage of and your nervous system wasn't able to fight back, maybe the work that we do now through the body is showing the body and the nervous system that it's okay to be with a racing heart. It's okay to be with a clenching jaw. It's okay to be with the rising up of your chest. It's okay to be with that expandedness and that power. And we touch into that and then we touch back out. So it's not too overwhelming, right? So this is a lot of what somatic work and somatic practices are all about. So when people ask me, how does trauma live in the body? Trauma predominantly lives in the body, in our emotional memories, in our procedural memory, again, our impulses, our instincts, right? And in our nervous system memory, muscle memory, sensory, all of those things. That is where trauma predominantly is stored, in the memory centers, the subconscious memory centers of the brain. It's not predominantly stored in the conscious memory centers of the brain, because the hippocampus, which is where we store our explicit memories, it in many ways becomes disconnected when we experience trauma. Thinking, remembering go offline when we experience trauma as the survival brain takes over. So, long story short, what we do in somatic experiencing and somatic therapy is we help the body to feel and to catch up to what the mind already knows. Because those two things can be very different sometimes. Let me know if you have any questions. Let's chat about it.